It doesn't take much to elicit panic in Leaf land. A couple losses over the last few games where they've had leads and now blown them have led to some conversations. So let's have some of those conversations with our Luke Fox, whose work you can always find on sportsnet.ca. Luke, listen, we know this is a good Leafs team. We know they're out a couple major defensemen right now. Is there any reason, given the play of late, to be overly concerned about this team?
I wouldn't say overly concerned, but I think there's definitely reason for concern. I think that last game, their defensive depth got exposed. And in the playoffs, you need multiple defensemen. You rarely make it through with six defensemen. Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren are fine for your third pair. We see what happens when they get moved up to the second pair and you have to dip into the Alex Biegas of the world. It wasn't pretty. So I absolutely think that Kyle Dubas needs to address his defensive depth before the trade deadline. And I also think, knock on wood, they need Jake Muzzin healthy. He was not healthy against Columbus. He was not healthy towards the end against Montreal, and they lost those series. He's a very underrated, valuable part of this team.
No, he's been, again, a rock since being acquired, but he's just missed so many key games that it's hard to imagine what the team would have been with him in the lineup. So you wrote about a potential ad, maybe. John Klingberg, of course, wants out of Dallas. Does not exactly the perfect fit in terms of contract and structure and stuff like that. But where else could the Leafs look in terms of trying to find that blue line reinforcement?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at rentals, I think there are a few guys that kind of fit what the Leafs need. And I think they need a big guy, a penalty killer, a stay-at-home defenseman. They have one of the best offensive defensemen in the world in Morgan Riley, but they need someone to do the dirty work, a Jake Muzzin type. Ben Sherratt is probably going to be at the top of that list. He's a left shot, but he is comfortable playing the right side. He's nasty. He's mean. Now, do the Montreal Canadiens want to deal with Toronto? I don't know. His price will also be quite high. Another guy they should probably take a look at is Rasmus Ristolainen in Philadelphia. The Flyers spent a lot on the trade market to get Risto over there, but the Flyers season is just kind of gone in the tank, and they don't look like a playoff team, so they might try and sell him and try to recoup something for him. And another guy of interest is Colin Miller, a right shot out of Buffalo, and also a former Sioux Greyhound, and we know how Kyle Dubas loves getting guys from the Sioux.
Yeah, I'm gonna pencil him in right now.
Yeah.
So beyond just the blue line help, we know Jack Campbell's played an excessive amount of games, not a lot for Petr Mrazek, obviously in that backup role, part of it because of injury. But do you think there should be more of a rotation right now to just give Campbell a tiny bit of rest?
I do. I don't know if it's so much rest because the games have been spread out so much, but he just hasn't been himself lately. Back-to-back games in which he's given up 5 goals. Part of that is definitely due to the leaky defense. But you spent so much on Mrazek in the offseason. Why not start to use him? The guy hasn't gotten any sort of groove. A groin injury, then he re-aggravated the groin, then the COVID break, and then Jack Campbell's been so good that Sheldon Keefe has been reluctant to give Mrazek any run. Now's your excuse. Campbell slipped a little bit. Let's see what you have in Mrazek. You have him for 2 more years under contract. Why not use him?
Yeah, on top of that, February we know is going to be a very, very busy month in terms of games for this team. Luke, we always appreciate your insights. Thanks for this.
All right, thanks, Faizal.